Okay, so this video here is really all about adding a webhook rather than putting it into the back end of a form as in the previous video, but this is about how to add it into any automation. So let's just bring along my test portal, and we've by now set up our landing page. So we'll just go and have a quick look and I'll just show you what we've got here. Just 1 second. So if we log in here, so you'll see here, here's my great leads. This is my landing page that everyone's filling in, so that's all looking good. And what we'll do is we'll now go through into the back end and we will set up the webhook inside an automation. So to do that, you need to go into your webhook over here. And oops, sorry, it's the wrong one. Let's update that. We need to go back to that was it. Sorry, this has just been updated. I'm just getting a bit confused. So just hit update here. Right, so this is the webhook here that we need. So we'll just copy this. That's all copied. And then what you need to do is to go into an automation. So I'm just going to show you how you do this, and it's unbelievably simple. The only difference is when you do it through an automation, it's very hard to map it because you will need to run some data through it. So it's very easy when you do it through a form. You don't have to do that. But when it's an automation, you have to actually run some data through. So let's go into a mockup and I'll show you how you do it. And I'm going to use ActiveCampaign. Right, so here we've got our test automation. So what we need to do, and this is actually my preferred way of doing things, how I like to do it, because it's so easy and it's how I've run all my campaigns over the last 10 years, is you just click on here and then you go into conditions and workflow and you'll see webhook. All you do is you click on that. Now this is really important. Make sure you copy the entire thing and just make sure there's not a space. So I always go in there and I go C and just make sure there's no space, and then go to the very back end and make sure there's no space there as well. Okay, so there's no space, and hit save. Now just as an act of good practice, what I do is put a note in here and just put webhook data to SAP lead, so that you know what it is. And I normally put in there a date, right? Just put in a date in there so you know what it is. Otherwise, over time, you just don't know what that webhook is, and you've got to spend your whole life looking for it. So what you need to do is then obviously you need to run some data through here to get it working, and then it will start to appear. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to run a quick webhook through here, and I'll show you what I mean. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to put a little weight on here so that we can see it, and I'll just go and get a bit of data and I'll add test tag. So to do this, you need to hit the start mapping. So now the system is on the lookout for this webhook call. So I'm going to go into here and I've just got a tag here called test, and then we'll hit this and we'll just run it, and this will spark up that automation. And what you've got to do now is go back to the automation, just make sure that it's run through. So just hit refresh here. Now this is ActiveCampaign, and obviously it's going to be a little bit different if you're using HubSpot or something. So here we go, it's into that automation. You can see it's gone in there. We can check it by going into here. This is just the way that I do it anyway. And you can see here it's fired up and it's sitting in there. So we know that the data's gone through, and there it is. So there's all the data, now it's all been mapped. So now that you've mapped the data, what you want to do is then you've got to go through and work out, do you want to remove unnecessary fields, or these are the premium fields that you want to lock. So remember, you can come back and change this. So what we'll do here, contact ID we'll just remove, we don't want it. We definitely need that, and this is called email, and this is called first name, and that's called last name. And here you might want to change it to mobile. You can just go, this might be company company name. We don't want, do we want that one there? No, we don't need that. Do we want to see their tags? No, we don't need that. And that's basically all we need. Now, if you are sending out the lead in its entirety to the recipient, obviously these are all going to be yes. But if you are sending out the leads by that scramble method, where the first agent that receives it gets it, you obviously want to hide some content. Now, the obvious one would be email and the phone. You probably want to hide, so we can just go we'll hide, we want to hide that, and by default all the fields are hidden, so we're going to hide that. We will not hide that, and we will not hide that. Phone number we're going to hide, and their organization will hide, because obviously we don't want them to see the organization's name. And that can be it. Now, I won't go through the conditional logic. This is where you're selling leads in different locations or different lead types. You might have, for example, leads for homes and leads for apartments and leads for land, or leads for car type. It might be Toyota, Honda, Mercedes. So this is where you can have the lead type, because obviously these would be the lead types that your customers would want. But for now, we're just providing one type of leads. We'll save those map fields, and that's done. So that's how you map together a webhook through an automation.